So I'm about to turn 41 years old, and as you know, Rachel and I have started playing tennis together. Now, these two things have nothing to do with each other, but I think there's interesting timing that is coinciding here. See, I had a lot of kind of limiting beliefs around my physical abilities in my ripe old age, and part of that just comes from the experience I've had over the past few years. I've really transitioned into mostly kind of weightlifting. I've always been sort of a heftier person. I've never really been very agile or, traditionally athletic. So the idea of playing tennis, where there's a lot of quick movements and kind of bursts of speed, it's not something that I pictured myself ever really doing. And obviously, we're never going to be competitive. Of course, you never know. But the interesting thing that's happened is it has started to open up my mind again about, my abilities. And when you get to a certain age, you start to limit yourself mentally, I think, in what you believe that you're capable of. But it's been a lot of fun, and it has been actually pretty productive and eye-opening in terms of what I can still do for movement. Obviously, I can never move like I did when I was 20, and I'm never going to be a professional athlete, but it's not limiting anymore. It feels pretty good to kind of get out on the court, sweat, run around, move, challenge yourself, And I always tell a story about an elephant that was brought to the circus when it was small, and the idea is that this elephant was tied to a stake in the ground when it was very, very young, and it tried its hardest to pull itself out, and just couldn't. And as it got older and bigger and much more capable of pulling the stake out, it never even tried in the first place. And the idea is that it could have, but it had an existing narrative in its mind based on its previous experiences telling it that it couldn't, so it just didn't try. And I've asked people in the past before, I've asked clients in the past before, what limiting beliefs are we still holding on to from our past that are no longer valid to the current version of ourselves today? And I think that with athleticism and movement in general, I've largely been doing that too. And kind of getting out there and trying something new and having it associated with a new skill. And one of the things that I love, and this is not a tennis reel, it's just happens to be the thing we're focusing on. It's sort of like it requires your mental attention. You're not sitting there scrolling on your phone like you would on a treadmill or riding a bike or something, stationary bike. And you're active, you're outside. It's something that Rachel and I get to do together that is different. There's a lot of skills to it, obviously, that are just endless. And there's an entire universe around it, entire universe around this huge sport that is worldwide that you can really immerse yourself in and enjoy, So it's not something where I just go, oh, I'm going to start working out more. I work out 5 days a week. But allowing both of us really to focus on something that is active together sort of sparks a different thought process. Now Rachel is super active. She does all sorts of aerial stuff. She's incredibly flexible. It's unbelievable the things that she can do. I can't. So this is something that's sort of a middle ground for us, that we can enjoy together. But it has sort of rewired my perception of myself and what I'm capable of, what I think I'm capable of, and what I was willing to go out and try to do. So I would really kind of challenge you to ask yourself, what is it that you have been maybe putting off or don't think that you're even capable of doing, that if you were to push, if you were to just show up, if you were to challenge yourself, if you were to grab a partner or a friend or a spouse or whoever and go do something, what doors could it then begin opening up for you? Because I think that's the beauty of it. It's not just what you do with it in the moment, but it's then what thought processes begin to spark and move you forward into something else. So grab a racket, grab a pair of shoes, grab a baseball bat, grab anything that you can think of that'll get you moving, and just get off your ass.